Many men believe that if a woman cheats on her husband and falls in love with another man, there's no way she would ever return to her marriage. But reality, and what psychology and relationship research suggest, is far more complex than that. Sometimes, the secret relationship ends, and the woman chooses to return to her husband. In some cases, she may even make a sincere effort to rebuild the marriage. So why does this happen? Was she never truly in love with the other man? Did she realize her husband was the better choice? Or are there deeper psychological reasons? It's important to clarify from the beginning that returning to a husband after infidelity does not automatically mean the relationship will succeed, nor does it erase the pain caused by the betrayal. However, psychologists have studied this phenomenon and identified several possible explanations, which vary from one situation to another. 1. She realized the affair was built more on fantasy than reality. Relationship research suggests that many affairs exist in an environment completely different from marriage. An affair partner doesn't usually share household responsibilities, financial pressures, parenting duties, or the daily challenges that come with married life. As a result, the relationship often feels exciting, romantic, and effortless because both people tend to present the very best versions of themselves. But as reality gradually replaces fantasy, a woman may discover that the image she had created of the other man was more idealized than realistic. She may come to realize that what attracted her wasn't only the man himself, but also the unique circumstances of the relationship. 2. She experiences guilt and genuine remorse. A person's conscience doesn't simply disappear after making a mistake. Once the excitement or emotional intensity fades, feelings of guilt may begin to emerge, especially when she witnesses the impact of her actions on her husband, her children, or the stability of her family. Psychologists often explain this through the concept of cognitive dissonance, the emotional conflict that occurs when someone's actions contradict their personal values and moral beliefs. To reduce that inner conflict, some people genuinely try to repair the damage they've caused. That said, the intensity of remorse varies greatly from person to person, and it should never be assumed in every case. 3. She discovered the affair partner wasn't who she thought he was. At the beginning of an affair, the other man may appear almost perfect. He listens attentively. He offers affection. He gives her time and attention. But as the relationship continues, qualities she hadn't noticed before may begin to surface, such as selfishness, emotional immaturity, irresponsibility, or a lack of genuine commitment. Psychological research shows that during the early stage of romantic attraction, people naturally view one another through an idealized lens. Once that initial excitement fades, their evaluation of the relationship often changes significantly. 4. She realized the value of what she already had. Sometimes people don't fully appreciate stability until they risk losing it. Marriage isn't built on emotions alone. It's built on years of shared experiences, trust, family, memories, responsibilities, and a life created together. When those things become threatened, a woman may begin recognizing forms of security and emotional support that she had previously taken for granted. This doesn't mean every marriage should be saved. It simply helps explain why some people reconsider their decisions. 5. She fears losing the life she built. The consequences of divorce can be significant. A woman may fear losing daily life with her children, family stability, financial security, or her social environment. Psychologically, it's important to distinguish between returning out of fear and returning out of love or a sincere desire to rebuild the marriage. Relationship experts emphasize that the long-term success of reconciliation often depends heavily on the true motivation behind the decision to return. 6. Her husband gave her a second chance. Some studies suggest that certain couples choose to work through infidelity, particularly when the unfaithful partner admits the truth, shows genuine remorse, accepts responsibility, and demonstrates a willingness to change. Being given another chance may motivate a woman to reevaluate her choices and genuinely commit to rebuilding the trust she lost. However, restoring trust after betrayal usually requires patience, complete honesty, consistent actions, and effort from both partners. Does returning mean she never loved the other man? Not necessarily. Human emotions are far too complex to fit into one simple explanation. An affair may end because the initial attraction faded. The circumstances may have changed. She may realize that the emotional fulfillment she was searching for wasn't actually found in that relationship. In other situations, genuine feelings may still exist, yet she chooses not to continue because of moral convictions, family responsibilities, or practical realities. For this reason, psychologists caution against making broad generalizations. Every relationship has its own unique circumstances. Can trust be rebuilt after infidelity? Research in couples therapy suggests that rebuilding trust is possible in some cases, but it is rarely easy. Trust doesn't return because of promises alone. It is rebuilt through consistent behavior, honesty, accountability, transparency, and a sustained commitment to change. Successful reconciliation also requires a genuine willingness from both partners, not just one. In some situations, ending the relationship may ultimately be the healthiest decision, particularly if the betrayal is repeated, remorse is absent, or dishonesty continues. Final thoughts. Some women return to their husbands after an affair for many different reasons. They may discover the reality behind the affair, experience genuine remorse, recognize the value of their marriage, want to protect their family, or be grateful for a second chance to repair what was broken. But returning alone is never enough to save a relationship. What was damaged in a single moment often takes months or even years to rebuild. In the end, infidelity should not automatically be viewed as the inevitable end of every relationship, nor should reconciliation be seen as proof that everything has returned to normal. The real challenge isn't simply coming back. It's rebuilding trust, and that's far more difficult than restoring it with words alone. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe love can truly return after infidelity, or once trust is broken, can it never be fully restored? Share your opinion below.